response to this position, expressed shock, and is all over the headlines. The reason why these two statements made headlines is because they are statements of fact, and it's the truth that this architecture is not working, and of course the president is shocked. Why is it not working? What's the evidence of that? And where is Mr. President shocked? I just have information to share. The Fund for Peace and the Foreign Policy magazine in Nigeria published a report in 2019 and ranks Nigeria number 14 on the list of fragile states all over the world. Nigeria is ahead of Yemen, of Somalia, South Sudan, Central African Republic, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. Yes, those are the countries that are in worse situations of fragile states than Nigeria. Mr. President, in a normal circumstance, states like Nigeria should have the monopoly of the use of legitimate violence. Nigeria has lost that monopoly to warlords, paramilitary groups, armed gangs, terrorist groups, including ethnic and religious militias. In November last year, I was in Borno State with the Committee on Army on oversight. We could not travel beyond a few kilometers outside Maiduguri because we were told that Boko Haram has taken over the outskirts of Maiduguri. And Maiduguri was under a threat of invasion by Boko Haram. Nigeria is at war. And let nobody be deceived. Because what happened in Syria started like this. It was like skirmishes all over the place before the meltdown started. The time for rubber to meet the road has come, and we can no longer play ostrich and pretend that nothing is happening. You said it, and the president agreed. There is social tension in this country, and there is discord between the elite. There is no consensus. There is no elite consensus on the problem of the nation. Why? Ethnicity, religion, and corruption is not allowing the elite to come together to face the problem of this country, of which security is number one. Mr. President, I want to speak to facts. The African Leadership Center of King's College London published in 2008 a regional security report on West Africa. In that report, Nigeria accounted for 54% of recorded violent events in the whole of West Africa. And as we speak, Nigeria is the one that is shaping the trend and patterns of violent events and fatalities in West Africa. Mr. President, there is a delegitimization of the Nigerian state by hostile, progressively violent non-state actors. And of the estimated 500 million illicit small arms that is circulating West Africa, Nigeria is holding 70%. This is by the United Nations Center for Peace and Disarmament. What are we saying? Mr. President, let's face the fact. We are facing a crisis. And the time to hold on to it is now. On policing, I have a list here of 7 federations all over the world. 7 federations. India, Nigeria, Switzerland, USA, Canada, Australia, Brazil. Of these 7 that I have here, there are several other federations. Nigeria is the only nation within this federation that does not allow state police. In all of these countries, they have the federal police and they have the provincial or state police with different jurisdiction, different set of crimes, and of course, constitutional statutes and laws that defines jurisdictions and responsibility. Nigeria cannot continue to operate an aberration that is different from global experience and expect to get different results. There's no reason why the security situation in Nigeria should be the exclusive responsibility of the federal government. Policing cannot be a monopoly of the federal government. Whether in private sector or in public sector, monopolies breed abuse. Monopolies breed abuse and inefficiency. States should have a right of choice. In this federation, states must have a right of choice. Any state that does not want a state police is free to contract the federal police to police its states. And those states that believe they can handle their own police system should be allowed to do so. This is a democracy and we must respect freedom. Mr. President, finally,
round it up, please.
Finally, this country is operating 1943 Police Act with skeletal amendments that are barely editorial. 76 years, pre-colonial. Mr. President, the time for change has come. And there's nothing we can do about it because change is the only permanent experience in humanity. We cannot resist change. I so submit, Mr. President.
Thank you. Distinguished Senator Mohammed Bima.